This is Following Yahshua. Welcome again to the Rock. It's been a busy day here. Taking some trees down to clear up room for the expansion of our orchard and cutting wood for the winter. Getting a lot of wood split and stacked for this coming winter. And this has been a good, productive day. No, I don't celebrate Father's Day, for those that may be thinking or asking or want to say, hey, happy Father's Day. No, I don't celebrate it. But that's not the point of this video. If you were living on the coastline and you heard that a major hurricane was on its way to your location, what would you do? Would you try to stop it? I don't know how. Or would you get out of its path? Get out of the way of the hurricane? Most would get out of the way. Now, some would probably stay and suffer for the decision of staying. You know, whatever may happen, happens. But most would get out of the way. You see, the plan that is happening right now in this world, there's nothing you can do to stop it. There is absolutely nothing you can do to stop the plan that's going. Pastor Fox did I believe, an excellent video that he posted on YouTube talking about insurgency. And for not many people are going to understand what insurgency is, the process of it, why it's done, what the end goal is, the stages and how they accomplish it. And most people won't understand that, but I do. It was an excellent video. And I think a lot of people are getting caught up into the emotional, what's happening, and the emotionality. It's not even a word, but they're being caught up and they're looking and viewing everything with an extremely high amount of emotions. Instead of looking at this thing and seeing it for what it is, it's all part of the plan. This plan has been orchestrated a long time ago. This is why I talk about coming out of her, because based on what I read in this word, the only way to avoid it is to get out of its way. So many people are caught up in trying to change what cannot be changed. You cannot change what is going to happen. The best that you can do is strive to come out of it, come out of her, and get out of its way. We know. You can look and see. Most of these situations, you know, you got Antifa, you got BLM, you got the Boogaloo, whatever they're, you know, that movement. You got all these different groups and popping up, or most of them have been around for decades. But they're out and they're trying to create change, and they're making the change look like it's a good idea. When in reality, most of the change that they're looking to create is taking place in those metropolitan areas, in the cities, on the reservation. These riots and all this stuff that's going on is taking place there. So while everybody's discussing this and getting caught up emotionally, today I was working, like I do every day, here on the Rock, getting things done, working for the preservation of my family, working for the preservation of my children, working for the preservation of the sisters. Not sitting around and getting emotionally caught up in what we're seeing. It's all part of a game. It's a big play. It's a big play, and they need everybody to play their part. They need the media to play their part. The politicians to play their part, the president to play his part, and the people to play their part. They need the people to be caught up emotionally. They're consistently and constantly striving to get an emotional response from people, to get them to think and act irrationally. When the most rational thing you can do is not argue and fuss and scream and yell, it's to come out. It's to come out. It's amazing with all this stuff that we got going on. Suddenly the whole idea of food shortage, people aren't even talking about it anymore. People are going to the grocery store. Hey, the pasta aisle or the rice and beans aisle has food there. See, everything's okay. I'm still focused on that. I understand, and they presented, just think over the last 12 months, over the last 6 months, 7 months. There has been so much change, so much information being given to people. People's emotions are being swayed back and forth financially. Am I going to have a job? Am I going to have the finances to take care of my family? Am I going to have food? Oh, there's this virus and people are getting sick and people are dying. Oh no, now we have, police stations being burnt down. Are they going to defund the police and BLM and all this all the bugaloo, and they got white guys who are walking the streets with firearms, and then you have the Chaz over here and people are not even reading. I mean, how many have ever looked at the BLM page and actually looked at what they stand for, what they believe in? Do even people even know who started the BLM, what they stand for? A lot of you would probably be very surprised if you actually did a little bit of independent thinking, a little bit of free thinking, and went and sought out and said, what do these people believe in? Transgenderism and transgender rights, and they're fighting for more than what you think. See, this plan, it's a snowball, it's an avalanche, and the only thing that you can do is get out of the way. You can't stop it, you're not gonna change it, it's not gonna change its course, it's going to go downhill. And if you are below the avalanche, you will get swept up in the avalanche. It's not I'll just, in the last second, hop on my, sled and just ride the avalanche down. No, you're going to get swept up in it. Yah says, come out of her, my people. The decisions that we are making right now need to be calculated decisions, and they need to be wise decisions, and they need to be made without all the emotional attachments to what we are seeing going on. What I see going on in this world doesn't change me. Well, you need to make sure you have a firearm. I always carry a firearm. I don't understand it. It didn't take these situations for me to carry a firearm. I've carried a firearm since I've been here. I've carried a firearm before that. Well, you need to make sure you watch your 6. I've been watching my 6 since I was 6 years old. You need to be aware of the people that are around you. I've been doing that since I was about 12. This thing, what we're seeing, is not new. What was it, 1992, 1993? We saw the Rodney King beating. I lived near L.A., and watched on the news as LA burned. And guess what came from that? Absolutely nothing. People forgot about it. The next generation came up. Most people forgot about what happened in that situation. They don't even know what happened in that situation. Life went on as usual. This is all part of a greater plan that most people are so emotional that they actually believe that they have some sort of ability to change the course. The only thing that I realized that I could do is preserve my family, to make meaningful relationships with brethren, to work with brethren, to train my family, to train myself, not to get emotional and emotionally attached and emotionally driven and foaming at the mouth and leaving all that alone. Oh, baby. That's what I decided to focus on. Not the rest of this stuff. Obeying Yah's word. It didn't change that. You cannot change the plan. You can only get out of the way as much as you possibly can so that it doesn't affect you. These cities are death traps. These cities are reservations. Most of this stuff, if not all of this stuff that we see going on, is in these cities. It's happening there. It's coming down. It's falling. Pretty soon, these cities could be turning into the Wild West. And do you want to be there? What moves are you going to make? What purpose is there to be caught up in being emotional when you have to ask yourself the question, what am I going to do about what I am seeing and what is taking place? Because, getting all riled up and foaming at the mouth ain't going to change nothing if you're still in the middle of that oncoming avalanche. The prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself. The prudent man can foresee the avalanche. The prudent man can foresee what's taking place in these major metropolitan areas, high population density areas, reservations. The prudent man can see that and hides himself. The foolish one's going to look at it and say, well, I still don't think anything's going to happen. We'll figure it out. There is no fixing this. It's part of the plan. This country is the whole world is economically destroyed, spiritually destroyed, morally destroyed, ethically destroyed, sexually destroyed. The food is destroyed. There is no stability. The only stability that there is you and those that are a like precious faith around you. That's the only stability you have. And if you look at the greater picture, the only stability you have is the Most High Yah. That is the only stability you're going to have, is the Most High Yah. But too many people are looking at this plan, at this system, and they're begging the system to stop. Stop being what you are. Stop the plan that you've always been executing. And what the system does is they throw a couple distractions out there and people chase the distractions. Suddenly, they're not talking about food anymore. They're not talking about food crisis anymore. Everybody's mind got off food crisis. Everybody's mind got off with the food situation. Everybody's mind got off. Everybody's running around looking for a second stimulus check. The only thing you can do is be prudent, hide yourself. Be prudent and get out of the way. Come out of her. Leave these reservations, because the plan that they have, believe me, majority of people aren't even playing checkers. They're playing pogs. They're playing marbles, and the powers that be, the system, they are playing a very advanced level of chess. The moves that they have and are making are planned years ahead of time. When most people can't plan their life 6 months ahead of time, they have been planning things years ahead of time. They know exactly how this is going to go, and they have a very strong media, and they have gullible, emotional people that they can tug and pull at any given time. Well, you shouldn't be tug and pulled. You should have been either making the moves or are making the moves to have come out. Because there is nothing that you're going to do to stop it. This thing is only going to get worse. It is only going to get worse. And if you are struggling now, what's going to happen if it continues to go down? And it is going down. What happens if it continues to get worse economically? What happens if it continues to get worse as far as your safety goes? What happens if these cities, if there are more Chazes that pop up, and if there are more areas that pop up where you have a bunch of random people who, even the people who believe in the left. Now, everybody knows that I'm not political. I've never voted. But when you look at what the left is doing, They are trying to create chaos. And guess what comes after chaos? Order. But believe me, it's not your order. It's their order. It's the system's order. It's the order that most people don't even have the foresight to look ahead and see what order comes out of this, because the Bible talks about it. Come out of her. That is the answer. And for those that don't want to come out of her, stay in her. Stay in it. But understand, you are in the path of an impending avalanche. And Yah's already given us a way out. To be food, to have food sustainability, to be able to eat, to be able to have protection, to raise your family, to be around like precious, to be around other people of the faith, other Israelites, other people that love Yah and keep his commandments. Or you can sit in these highly left-controlled population centers that look like they are going to become absolute war zones. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but this avalanche is coming. I'm going to finish up. Bless you all. I hope somebody hears this, because time is running out. The time for you to make moves is running out. Shalom.